So now it started over. Okay. Um, well, I'm going to start over, I guess. I just can't afford to go back and try to do it all again. So, however long that one was, it did get down to page 6. So this is the start of page 7. Not that you need to know that. I don't know. But here goes. This is Rose and Sword by Terry Bale. That's me. And this is the start of page 7. And we'll see how far we get. Okay. Now, there are exceptions and partial exceptions to the rose and sword. How, like how silk flowers are soft and tortoise shells are hard, even though silk flowers belong on the sword side because they're man-made and they're dry, they're not living. And tortoise shells are God-made, but they're hard and stiff and don't change much, if at all, but on the inside maybe. So there are exceptions and partial exceptions. And like how a letter can be moderate and personal and one of a kind, though made by man, while mineral crystals are hard and dry and static, though made by God. Then other characteristics come to mind. Here, I'm going to change this over. List. Oops, I talked when it was switching. I'm going to change it over because it's a long list. Here we go. Let's see if I can get it stationed so you can read. Then other characteristics come to mind. See, this is the rose side, and this is the sword side. Living, created. Non-living, crafted. These things are approximate because each daisy is different, each human is different, each meadow is different, but created by God. And oftentimes the things that fit in are living. Approximate, unpredictably varying within predictable limits. And these things are exact to specifications, which are predetermined and controlled. Maybe there are exceptions, like it said, that maybe someone makes things that they just clump it, put it out, and each one is somewhat different. But generally speaking, they do it to exact specifications. Then this one, limited possible variation in size. This can have extreme variation in size, all to scale, because most daisies are in the vicinity, whereas houses come in all sizes. Okay. Abundant, often grows or is found in large areas or worldwide. Relatively rare, often from one factory or franchise store. These ones, created living, is moderate strength, perishable, so get few often and use up, like grapes. Concentrated, durable, so get many rarely and store. Not easily stored, marketed, or traded. So I'm going back and forth for those who aren't going to look at this but will hear it. I'm going back and forth. How do I express that? So on the rose side, not easily stored, marketed, or traded. They've got to be cared for, Then on the sword side, much more easily stored, marketed, or traded. Rose, glowing, ephemeral beauty. Its direction is outward. It affects us. Like the rose just glows. The sunset just grows. I don't know if you call it sunset, but it's made by God. It affects us more in our spirit. But on the sword side, its creation is more drawing, demanding attraction. So it draws our attention. Its direction is inward. It affects us more mentally and physically. So we see something and we pay attention to it, and often we want it, and at any rate. Then over on the rose side, the good here is hard to measure, and some of it is intangible. That means untouchable. You can't grasp it. Why beauty is so drawing, so affects us. It pours onto us. It's It's neatness. Okay, over here on the sword side. The good here is measured and grafted and advertised. And then on the last one on the rose side, freely given from God. Much of it, most of it. And on the sword side, expensively sold by man. They got to. They got to charge something because it took them time and energy to make it. Okay, but let's take a look at the dangers involved in not dealing with sword things rightly. I'm going to swap this back. If you want to look at it, there it is. Okay, now I'll read it to you because it goes on. The next page also is a matter of reading. Can you see that? But let's take a look at the dangers involved in not dealing with sword things rightly, and the dangers in the intensifying of the things on the death side of the list. That's what I wrote, the sword side. Things that have a natural inclination toward death, whether they are used with that intention or not. It seems to be the capacity that these sword things have of being intensified and taken to an extreme that brings things on this side of the list to be often and rightly considered dangerous. It seems to be the hard, sharp, precise, unvarying, cold permanence of the things on the non-living side that lends itself nicely to stacking and storing and hoarding, and so people are strongly inclined to fight to keep or to gain control of these things. Things like gold and jewels, swords and guns, bombs are obviously intense and powerful and valuable for their efficiency and durability and density alone. They are kind of like little black holes right within our grasp. They take our admiration or our affection or our attention never-endingly. They pull and draw and take without ever giving back in kind. They do give a sense of something, perhaps, like a sense of security or a sense of power or a sense of beauty. The diamonds, a sense of beauty. But if a person doesn't watch out, they might easily mistake the sense of security or power or beauty for actual security or power or beauty itself. Yet the sense of the thing and the actual thing are not equivalent, not by a long shot. But the worth of knowing God Himself, who is beautiful and living and good, and gives us freely such good gifts as we've been discussing here, like food and air and water, which we must foster and take care of to receive the full benefit of, and the value of His created things, which are, in their proper use, beautiful and living and marvelous, some of which are even eternal, us humans. This ought to be, excuse me, this ought to cause us to look to God. I have to change pages. To look to God as the brilliant Creator, loving Father, and precious friend that He is, and to desire to deal with non-living things only as they benefit living things, and not as an object of desire in themselves. As a man by the name of Ivan Panin once wrote, quote, "The lover of goodness cannot but be a good man. The lover of beauty can still be a bad man." End quote. It was a neat book we found, and he had a lot of things he discovered, and he wrote them down. I forgot what he called them. Aphorisms? Just little quotes. I'll go on, but I need to see. This is 9 minutes. What time is it? And I'm supposed to be back home in about 20 minutes. So I need to stop this in about 10 minutes. So I guess I'll aim for 20 minutes. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So it's 9 minutes, 31 seconds. Here we go. Because this is, it left a blank so that I left a blank line. So it kind of changed subjects. It also seems that a person would do well to differentiate between these two categories, living and non-living, with regard to actually loving a thing, and to note which things actually benefit from our love, which things leech on us and have nothing living and worthwhile, and which things leech on us and have nothing living and worthwhile to give in return. A bicycle, for instance, can take our attention. It can even benefit from our attention, and if we use it rightly, it can benefit our lives in return, so to speak. But note, it will not balk at being used wrongly or for unworthy purposes. Furthermore, since people don't generally stop to consider the difference between a thing's life benefiting service and the mere existence of its power or beauty, they will often found clubs and sponsor events and attractions to promote the owning and improving and beauty and the value and even the expense of bikes or vehicles or homes, etc. The list would be endless, be they antique or homespun or state of the art, for simply to advance and show off the owning or improving or beauty or value or even the expense of the whatever it is, in order to intensify the sense of their connection with the excellent quality that it has. Yet even a strong sense of their connection with that quality is not necessarily a transferal of that quality into that person's life, nor to that person themselves, nor is it any guarantee that any of it is of any actual benefit to their lives in the deeper sense, or to their lives in any general sense either. Yet it's fun, and it's a way for people to get together, and it feels good to be part of a group that glorifies the obviously glorifiable. Yet black holes can swallow up your life if you let them. Density can overcome even light, as science has theorized for us. That is the theory of black holes in space. They theorize that a star, for some reason, caved in on itself and became so dense that it draws anything near it, sucks it right into itself, and they are stuck in there because they can't get strong enough to fight it and get out. But black holes can swallow up your life if you let them. Density can overcome even light, is what they say. That's why the hole seems black, because the light, even if a star is getting closer and closer to the black hole, pretty soon it sucks in the light, the star itself, and all the light it had, and no longer will it shine out of the black hole. If you haven't heard of black holes before, sorry, you probably have. Okay, here it goes. And non-living things of intense beauty, through no intelligence or ill meaning of their own, having not these capacities, may overtake and take over the faculties that God has given us. Yet God has given us these faculties, sight and hearing and thought. Yet God has given us these faculties that we might use them to promote life and health and beauty of a higher sort, in order to contribute something to life eternal. There is something Jesus explained called life eternal, that God has made life, and he sees fit to bring life into eternity. But I better keep going. Yet God has given us these faculties that we might use them to promote life and health, because health keeps us alive long enough to learn good lessons. To promote life and health and beauty of a higher sort, in order to contribute something to life eternal, that we might not go into eternity empty-handed, crushed, sucked into the black hole abyss with empty souls. And there I put another white line, empty line. I think I will keep going. Oh, but it's 14. Maybe I should leave for 15 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I think I'll stop it here. I only got to the middle of page 8. Talk to you later. Bless you. Lord help. Thank you.